Welcome, everybody, to the Pressbox once again. Zach Miller, Mark Haskell joining you once again for Pressbox. And World Cup still going on. A lot of good games this past weekend and a couple of upsets, too, Mark. How about Russia taking down Spain, huh? We talked about that.
We talked about that last week, and I was really kind of just talking out of my butt. I'm like, well, you never know. I mean, Russia being the home country, maybe they'll get some home calls and everything. And that whole game, I was just thinking, there's no way it's going to come down to this. And then all of a sudden, we're in PKs. They get a couple breaks, and then all of a sudden they're on to the quarterfinal.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and we were just talking, Spain and England were really the only two teams that we were thinking were going to advance to the end of that bracket. England almost gets knocked off by Colombia.
Yeah, that's true. So round of 16 scores, here they are for you. On Saturday, France over Argentina 4-3. Talk about a high-scoring game there. Knocking out Messi. Uruguay over Portugal 2-1.
So Messi and Ronaldo,
two best players in the world
gone
in the same day. Sunday, Russia over Spain. They were tied 1-1, and Russia won 4-3 in penalty kicks. And then Croatia and Denmark were tied 1-1, and Croatia won 3-2 in penalty
Spicer rejoices.
Kicks. Yeah, right? Talk about making that pick a couple weeks ago. Monday, Brazil over Mexico. They beat Mexico 2-0. Belgium beat Japan 3-2, which you said you watched the second half of that game.
That was an excellent game.
Tuesday, Sweden beat Switzerland 1-0, and England, we just talked about, beat Colombia 4-3 in penalty kicks after being tied 1-1.
Well, I'll tell you what, I watched the second half of that England-Colombia game as well, and that game looked to be swaying in Colombia's favor. And in fact, in the PKs, I mean, we're looking at it, and it was Colombia. They were up 3-2. And then the England goalie made a couple saves, and it came down to that last goal, and the guy from England sunk it. I can't remember who it was. It wasn't. I can't remember the guy's name, but they ended up going on to the quarterfinal because of that. And it looks like, if you look in that bracket, I mean, it looks like it's England's to lose at this point.
It really does. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't watch any games over this course because I was camping.
You were camping.
I was camping.
You were doing the responsible 4th of July fun kind of thing, and sweating profusely.
I think everybody was sweating, but that's a different story. That's not sports related. But
I will say, the game that I watched the most of was Belgium and Japan. I watched that. I watched most of that game, and Belgium in the first half, they looked just god awful. And then all of a sudden, 5-6 minutes into the second half, Japan puts 2 on the board, and you're thinking, oh my God, there's another big upset. I mean, Spain gone down, Argentina went down, and you're just thinking they're dropping like flies. And then all of a sudden, they score 3 goals in the last 25 minutes. The first one was on a ridiculous header on the end line. I still don't understand how he got the angle on it. But then they subbed Fellini in late in that game. He gets a header to tie it, and then off a corner kick by Japan, they basically go end to end, the end of the field, and it was in the 94th minute. So they scored. It was a great little duke by I can't remember the guy's name.
Too many different names to remember.
Lukaku, I believe his name was. But Chadley ended up getting the goal to win it. And Belgium, they said that upset would have been even bigger than the Russia upset, because Belgium's ranked 3 in the world right now.
Yeah.
So that would have been a giant upset. But obviously that was a big way for Belgium to just survive and advance. And when you get to that stage, that's all it's about, surviving and advancing.
Doesn't matter how you score, you just need to score. Even if the other team scores for you, it still counts. It doesn't really matter. Round of 8 starts tomorrow, Friday. This is a Thursday we're shooting, so we may miss out on a couple of games. Tomorrow, 10 a.m., Uruguay and France, and then Brazil and Belgium, which should be a really good game.
Those are both going to be excellent games.
Great games. And then Saturday, the other 2 games, Sweden and England at 10, and Russia and Croatia at 2, which could be another good game. Look out, Croatia. Russia's on the upset swing here.
Absolutely.
But switching from one ball to the other, we're going to go to NBA free agency, which is in full swing starting on Sunday, and it didn't take long for a bunch of guys to come off the market.
You know what's funny? We talked about this last Thursday. We're like, I think this aired last Friday, and I think that was when everything happened. Yep. I'm like, that figures. That's typical.
Of course. That's when everything always happens.
But it starts with LeBron. Let's talk LeBron. What happened?
LeBron, 4 years, $154 million max contract with the Lakers. That's over $50 million less than he would have got with the Cavs. Everybody said it was either going to be the Cleveland or Lakers and maybe Philadelphia. Philadelphia was in it for a little while. It doesn't shock me that he jumped again. I don't think he needed to jump. He's already one of the best players in NBA history. Why not stay with your hometown team and just kind of play your last few years out? I mean, you're going to be 34, 35 years old. You're not the same player you used to be, even though he's still a great player. He's putting up record numbers. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this? I'm interested on this.
I don't think LeBron is thinking just about basketball anymore. That's the first thing. Before we talk about all the other signings that the Lakers made, I think that this is a good decision for him because he's going to L.A. He's already got houses out in L.A. I mean, he's trying to build his LeBron brand past basketball. I don't think this is just a basketball move. I mean, going to the Lakers, that's a signature NBA franchise. all the eyes are going to be on him like they aren't already anyway. But I just see this being, kind of like, Tom Brady and the Patriots. Like, it's about the brand at this point in their careers. Like, they've established themselves as champions, as terrific players all around. I think that at this point in his career, I mean, he left money on the table with Cleveland to go to LA, but I think he's thinking down the road.
Yeah, and the Lakers have been god-awful the past few
And his
years.
son is becoming a hell of a basketball player, too. He might be getting into dad mode, starting to think about, watching his son to play basketball and things like that. And his son is going to high school out there, so that might also be a factor. But enough of that stuff. Let's talk about this hilarious team that Luke Walton gets to coach next year. Let's talk about some of these signings.
So we have LeBron signed. Rajon Rondo is now part of the Lakers, and wait for it, Lance Stevenson is now part of the Lakers as well, from that notorious blow in the ear.
I laughed
years ago
so hard when I heard that Lance Stevenson signed it. And it was the second signing. LeBron goes to the Lakers. Wow, it's kind of surprising. Lance Stevenson. What's going on? And then JaVale McGee, he's a competent, good center. They got a couple of the signings. Obviously, Rondo. That just think for a second.
He's bounced around a lot.
Rondo, LeBron James, and Lonzo Ball's dad in a room. Let's just be in that room and hear that conversation.
Right?
Oh my God.
Well, it was funny. I saw a headline this morning. It said
and Lance Stevenson.
That LeBron gave the Lakers the okay to sign Lance Stevenson. The Lakers checked with LeBron before.
Good move.
Yeah.
Good move.
Is this okay with you? This guy it's riles you up all the time, and nothing's gonna beat that. I love that. The GIF.
He always has to have that weird guy on his team. It was J.R. Smith last year, and he had another guy like that in Miami when he was there. He always has to have that wild card guy on his team. I don't really completely understand that, but they're going to be an interesting team. But to me, I look at that team and I'm just like, wow, those are some nice signings. Warriors in 4.
Yeah, right.
Warriors in 4 in the conference finals.
Yeah,
I just don't see that they're good enough to beat them. And let's talk about DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah, DeMarcus Cousins 1 year. It's only a $5 million deal. So it's I think the reason for that is he just wants a ring and then to get max money next year again.
And that's all salary cap structure. And I don't a lot of people are all up in arms about it. They're creating a super team. Well, yeah. I mean, you think about it. You're a Patriots fan. This is how the Patriots have built their dynasty and built their Super Bowl champion brand. They get awesome players to come in that they want a ring, they take a discount, and they go in there and they play and they win one. He could have gone out, Cousins that is, and he could have made a ton of money. But he's 1 year, $5 million. Let's go see if I can get a ring. If that's the way he wants to do it, he's more than entitled to do it.
Yeah, and the thing people don't remember with Golden State is that Kevin Durant was the only one the big one to join them. They drafted Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson.
Yep.
So, I mean, they're doing pretty well over there. It's not like LeBron, where he was LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh all signed with the Heat back in 2010 to create that first super team, and then Kevin Love and Kyrie for Cleveland.
Let's be clear though, the Celtics had the first super team.
Yeah,
yes, with Pierce.
Years ago.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's true. But even before that, with Bird and McHale and
oh yeah, we could go
way
back decades if we wanted to. But super team, I feel like that term really started when KG went to Boston and Ray Allen went to Boston. I think everyone was like, oh, the big three.
Yeah.
That's when that term became a thing. And now you need a big three to compete at all. But now the Warriors, they've got a big six. They've got Iguodala as their sixth man off the bench, and he would start on most teams all across the league.
Well, here's a couple more notable free agent acquisitions so far this offseason. Chris Paul signed a 4-year, $160 million deal with Houston.
Not a big surprise there.
Yeah, not a big surprise. So he'll still be a Rocket. Paul George, 4 years, $137 million max deal with OKC, which kind of surprised me. I thought he was going to go
he
to
opted
Los
out.
Angeles. He did, yeah. And that's why everyone thought he was going to go to Los Angeles and join LeBron, because if people thought LeBron obviously was going to go to LA.
That was a head scratcher to me. I've never, very rarely do you see a guy opt out of a current deal and then re-up with the same team for more money.
Yeah.
You don't see that very often. Usually they'll try to sign a team-friendly deal so they can try to bring in more help, make a better team. That's kind of a head scratcher for me with OKC.
And they have a big three out there in OKC. So they have Russell, Westbrook, Carmelo, and Paul George again. So I mean,
Are we calling
Carmelo is kind
Carmelo?
of
Are we
way
saying that
on
at this point
the
in his
downside of his career. He's still a big name and a big player, even though his scoring has gone way down from when he was with the Knicks and all
He's
those
a
teams.
tremendous offensive player, but I think we play the same kind of defense that Carmelo plays.
Non-existent.
Right.
Anyway, so here are a couple more. Julius Randle, 2 years, $18 million with New Orleans. We talked about Cousins, his 1-year deal with Golden State. Avery Bradley, 2 years, $25 million with the Clippers, so he re-ups with them. And Aaron Baines with the Celtics, 2 years, $11 million.
Nice sign.
Yeah, good. Good
nice
to keep
sign.
that guy
Nice,
around.
yeah, like nice. And he's a nice piece to have on your team. And he was a big part of that playoff run. He was one of the more unsung heroes. You got to have unsung heroes on these kind of teams to win championships a lot. And I like Baines a lot.
And now the Celtics' big question mark is Marcus Smart, who's still a restricted free agent. The Celtics only have about $8.5 million left on their cap, but Smart thinks he's worth that $13 to $14 million a year. So there's got to be something to give there. Then also Celtics go over that luxury tax.
Yeah, they're either going over the luxury tax or they're going to have to look at the bottom of their bench and see if there's a way, like, we're going to waive these 2 players, bring in a couple cheaper players, and try to get Smart up to that. Or is Smart going to do what Cousins did and said, you know what, I'm going to leave $5 million on the table because I want to win a ring here. We can win a ring here. And and really the way the East is constructed now, I mean, it just looks like it's going to be the Celtics and the Sixers for the next 5 years.
It really does.
Yeah.
But when we get to next week, I'm sure there'll be some more notable signings. And hey, maybe the Celtics will re-sign Marcus Smart or do something else, trade him or something else. But until that time, I'm Zach. That's Mark. This is the Press Box.